Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at DE Thrill. Now, why is DE Thrill the map that I chose? Well, if you watched my previous video at the end, I mentioned that a PNG was leaked that had information regarding the upcoming operation maps, and DE Thrill is one of those supposed maps that is going to be in the operation. So I thought, why not actually take some time, look around the map, gain some initial impressions, first thoughts, and express those to you, so that way whenever the operation hits, hopefully soon, you guys will have a understanding of the map and you won't have to go through that period of playing a couple of games on it before you actually understand what to do. So basically, through some time that I spent walking through this map, exploring it on my own, and then with my friend Phil that I actually live streamed. I'm trying to live stream more often now and play some different games. CS Battlegrounds is coming out, which I am very hyped for. So there's a link down below if you want to follow the Twitch stream, because I am going to be trying to stream semi-regularly. It's not going to be a full-time thing, but it will be a thing that happens whenever I decide to play video games now, instead of not streaming. But anyways, with all that kind of out of the way, let's explore this map. So this is going to be the T spawn. We're going to spawn here. If you notice, there are some rides around, some roller coasters. We got kind of like a drop thing, you know, like a little castle thing over there. And that's where the name Thrill comes from. It is based in Germany, inside of a German theme park. And what we're going to do is we're going to do what we do on every map. We're going to explore. I'm going to explain sight lines, smokes, positions to hold, things like that, because actually, with this one, we spend a lot of time, like I said, and we went pretty in depth on what can actually be done. So this is basically going to be the most direct way to get to A. Now, something to note to begin with is that no matter where you are heading on this map as a T, the CTs can get there with 3 to 5 seconds to spare before you do. So that means that they have time to set up positions. So if we're going to be heading down this way from T spawn, and then around like this, a CT can make it all the way to about here before you can make it here with about 3 to 5 seconds to spare. So while you can jump up here to look in this area, or come over here, look in this area, even, I mean, just kind of like peek like that, a CT has the ability to be here already. And mind you, like if they're hiding here with their rifle out and not on their back, you can't see them unless you expose yourself quite crazily, like right on top of there. So sitting like this is a spot that you'll have to watch out for, is a T. Sitting here, less so because it is a little bit more exposed. Even sitting like here, you're going to have to watch this angle. So these are just kind of things that you have to realize. Let me grab a rifle, actually. So these are just things that you have to realize as playing a T on this map, that they can get here. You know, some other positions they can play is right there. So we'll fly over here. So they can play sort of in this position. They can play behind this tree. And what we found is, as long as a enemy team does not have an op, even playing back here isn't a bad position to play. Sort of like this. Because you'll have that long sightline battle with them, and then maybe have another player playing within the bomb site, holding something like this, even holding from like back here. Just some ways to prevent them from getting into the site without having contention going on. Now, what I personally believe, and what we came to a conclusion with between two of us, is that a site is going to need 3 players. So you're going to need one that is well, a site in mid, I should say, basically. You're going to need one to watch this area. You're going to need one in the site, possibly. Now, this is where it can get a little bit interesting. You can either have one playing in the site here, like up here. Mind you, a CT can get to about here before a T can get into this area, which is just a straight shot down from T spawn, just like this. And then through, and then over here, and then up the stairs, and then boom, and around. But a T can get all the way up here, smoke this off before you even have the chance to get in here. Now, personally, I don't think this area is one that you're going to necessarily want to set up like that. What I think you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use this room as a CT, obviously. You're going to want to grab an op, and you're going to want to watch it just like this from back here, because as a T, even with an op, you can't really see this area at all. You have to be like, you know, basically just take the luck shot to try and hit them, because you won't see them otherwise. Now, how do you get here? Well, basically, it's just going to be like this, and then CT spawn is right here. So you're just going to, you know, walk into A through here, and then you're just going to walk into that area as a straight shot, the event horizon, right in, Sector Lab A, boom, into the little storage facility, storage room, and you have your lineup. Now what's nice is that it's going to block off T's from coming in through this window, as well as going up through here, and it provides a nice quick rotate if somebody calls a, like, oh, they're coming out long on A. Well, you kind of just go like this, and you're already there to assist with the site retake if you need to do that, or fending them off from gaining access to the site to begin with. An easy way, obviously, for a T to kind of counter this is to just go like this, smoke that off, get around them, and then they're in sight. So it's going to be kind of like a game of cat and mouse on how you play it, how your enemies are going to be playing that position, getting them to use that utility. But then again, they might use that, try and push through, and then you're going to be sitting here instead of sitting in that window. So it really will be just a guessing game for the T's, more or less, as to what is going on there. Now, this area right here, access through the same areas over here, straight down, boom. But then you're going to be going through these turnstiles, and then you're going to be in this area. Now, this area is obviously right connected to CT spawn. You can get here really quickly. If you're very fast and you take the most direct route, let's say with an op, you can get to like right here, probably about here, before the CTs get to right there. So where they'll be able to see you around the corner. So if you want to take a quick shot, get a shot off, go back like this, get into the site, or take a shot, you'll be good to go. Another interesting thing is you can boost a player up into here, or up onto here, I should say. If I can get up there right now by myself, boom, just like that. And then basically the easiest way to do this, have two people come into this hallway, one boosts, and then another player goes into this room and watches with either an op or a M4. You're basically going to be able to see this area right here. You're not going to be able to boost before they get into this area, but it is a nice kind of like way to watch. Another thing to note is that this area isn't all being and all seeing because of this downward area, which is accessed through the left side, Sector A approach, through here. As a CT or as a T and you come through here, you can actually see the player sitting up here before they can see you, no matter how far back you're sitting up there. So it really kind of counters that position quite nicely. Or if you want to smoke it off, whatever the case may be, you can do that as well to get through here and then head towards B. Now, B is pretty interesting. There's two ways into B. We got this way, which I'll show off in a second, and then we have this mid way to B. So if we open these doors, there's going to be this vent here. This vent leads into CT held areas. It's accessed through the left side, just like this. Around, boom, just like this, and then into the vent to watch these doors. Now the thing is that those doors are easily reachable from the CT side way quicker than they are from the T side, especially because the T's are going to have to either send a guy down below or smoke this off or watch it, play however they need to clear this, to take some control in here, to take some control over there. So you're basically going to have a really nice setup as CTs. And again, why I said 3 players is because you're going to have one here. You're going to have one in this area, either on the stairs, in the window, wherever the case may be, and then probably have one boosted. Now, either that can be the case, you can have one boosted right here, or you can have one sitting in these vents and drop down, maybe like like sit here, just basically a couple of different areas to watch to prevent the T's from having a clean access and another access way into B site. But my preferred way is probably going to be to have one guy watching here, one guy watching up here, and then the other guy watching over there. Just because if you do it that way, have someone playing vents, and you leave this entire area open, and then you make it so this player can basically get pinched on very easily if he whiffs a shot down here, and if another guy pushes him here. So you'd probably want someone either up here, and if they're not going to watch up here because let's say a player keeps like dinking you or playing aggressive from down here and they figure that kind of strategy out, even playing from kind of like back here or from over here with a rifle more so than an op. I think the op should be positioned in this room, and then a rifle, an M4 obviously, in this room. You can kind of play it sort of like this or like this. Basically just protecting this guy right here. And then if they go onto B site real quick, you just walk down this hallway. This way leads you into B, and then this way leads you into this vent area. So it's a nice way to basically get to B very quickly or to cut them off from going into that mid area. Now, there's two ways to go into B. You got this back area right there, and then you have this area right here. They more or less connect right into here, and then you head out into B site. Now, the thing about B site is these upper areas where I'm walking right now, based on the times that it takes T's and CT's to get to different areas, this is about as far as you can get as a CT before a T is going to be within this viewing angle of view. So we theorize that getting over here would be very nice. It's a nice area to basically be able to watch them, make sure they can't get through, but you can't get there before the T's can see you get here. So you have to develop some type of smoke. I was messing around with one that over here, I think it was something along the lines of this, but that one might not be exactly it. Something like that, to where you have a little bit more control of this area. And you have the ability to jump over, though the T is going to have a clean view of you once you get to about like here, because unless you're crouching, they might be able to take you out. So that's going to be a little bit of a wait and see, play around with it, see what happens type of game. Another spot that you could possibly play is right here, and the way that I'd advise getting here is actually coming up and around through here, dropping down like this, so that way you're not exposed to the T, because by the time you get here, the T is already going to be there, so you don't want to do that. A couple of other positions, watching like this, up on this bar, watching here, watching from here, something along the lines of that, maybe even watching a little bit further back if you're playing this site alone. I think this site might be able to be played alone pretty easily as long as you have someone who can be a quick rotator from in these vents, either back through the site or through this area. It really depends on if they're putting a lot of pressure on this area right here. If there's no pressure on this area, play it the way that I've been saying, with a player stationed here, here, and then here, and then one in vents, and then one guarding B site. But you might need to forego this vent, have the other player play somewhere on this B site as well with you to mitigate the T presence. Now, I think that's kind of it for the B site. The B site is a little iffy. We kind of just came up with those positions very quickly. Just another one to give you an example is right here. Right here. Right here. And then right here. So these are kind of positions that you can play as well. But in terms of like a cohesive B hold, it's a little bit hard to figure out because of the way that the T's can get here so quickly, as well as they have the ability to view you from right there on top of spools, which they can get to if you walk down here, boop, like this, jump up on top of spools, and they have the ability to see you if you're crossing right there, as well as walking in like this and through like that. Now, that is the entirety of this map. There's this back area, obviously, that allows you to see these type of areas, but the CTs will be able to have a view on those as well. So that's going to be a nice firefight. But overall, I really like Thrill. I think it would be actually a good map to have in the operation map pool. The operation maps usually aren't that great outside of 1 or 2. But the 2 that I've actually messed around with so far, this one and another one known as DE Austria, those 2 seem very cool. So this one I'm looking forward to. The next one that I'm going to be covering, Austria, I'm going to be looking forward to. And then there are 2 more new maps of the 8 total maps. So there's going to be 4 new maps, 4 returning maps. And it's going to be relatively interesting to play those. I think they are a better class of maps than we've ever seen in CSGO. Operations, that is. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, doing all that jazz. Again, if you enjoy these videos where I go through maps and things like that, let me know suggestions for other maps once I'm done with these operation maps. What I was thinking of doing is covering some remakes of Dust 2 maps that people have inputted their own ideas and designs into. So once we're done with this, I'm going to check a couple of those out. Again, I do all of my testing and all of that kind of stuff and theorizing on these maps on stream. So you can look in the description down below to get over to the Twitch channel where I stream, twitch.tv/4thsal, if you want to check those out live.